In this lesson, we'll finally take a look at a complete game of Go, from move 1 to the very end, and you will see how simple it can be, and I will explain all the major things happening on the board. So let's see. Black plays first, and occupies an empty corner. White does the same thing. Another corner, and the last one. And this is very common in Go, because it's easier to control territory in the corner, so in many cases, players will start there. On this smaller board, even after 4 moves, you can already see what kind of territory black and white are aiming for. And now in this symmetrical position, black takes the center and breaks the symmetry. That's the advantage of playing first right there. It's black's turn, so it's always black's initiative, and black is trying to enlarge his own territory and reduce white's at the same time. White defends. The shape of the territory is now shifting. Black is getting slightly more. But black wants to reduce white's territory even more. So black jumps here, threatening to keep pushing inside white's territory and reduce. White decides to block. Another jump and the same threat. White blocks again. Black seems to have gained more territory. However, black now has 2 second-line stones to take care of, and black can't really do it with 1 move. So black chooses to help the stone at the top, and white attacks the bottom. This move is also threatening to keep pushing inside black's territory, like this, and then all of black's points will be gone, so black has to prevent this. White blocks here, and Atari. The black stone in the second line is an Atari, and since this is a very standard situation, we might take a somewhat closer look at it. We have already seen that stones from Atari can be saved, but not always, and not all stones should be saved. If black tries to extend the stone, white can Atari from this side, and if black tries to save it, all the stones are captured. Or white can Atari from the other side, and all the stones are still captured. So in fact, there's no way for black to save the stone on the second line. And the only option black has is to block here and just give the stone up. White will capture it. And by sacrificing this 1 stone, black buys himself some time to play somewhere else. Black plays here. This is now putting the final brush strokes determining the lines of black and white territory. White defends. And now we're down to first lines. Black and white both need to close off the borders to finalize their territory. Black plays here, defending the territory in the corner and threatening to play this Atari next. White chooses to respond and defend against it, and now black plays at the top and closes off another border. White responds to this, and I have a question for you here. It's now black's turn. Does black need to respond at the top? Is there a threat for black? I hope you were watching very attentively and you noticed that the black stone at the top is actually in Atari right now. It only has 1 liberty left, and if black doesn't save it, white will capture it. So black needs to respond and save the stone like this. Finishing the territory in the first line happens in every game of Go, so this is something you will see all the time. There is now actually a threat for white. If white ignores the situation, then with the very next move, black can Atari, and this stone cannot be saved. White can't go here because black will just capture both of these stones. So white needs to respond as well and protect the corner by connecting here. And now black fully determines the territory like this. The territory is complete, the top, the bottom, everywhere, and white needs to play the last remaining move that will make white 1 point of territory. So look carefully and see if you can find it. There is a gap in white's wall right here. And if white doesn't play there right now, then black can push, and white will be forced to respond like this, losing this point. So it's white's turn now. White can play here. And now this point belongs to white. And what about that last remaining point between the black and white stones? Who does it belong to? Black or white? Well, it doesn't belong to anybody. It's not part of white's territory, nor is it a part of black's. So all of these points between the walls are considered neutral, and both players can just fill them. It's now black's turn, so black would just play here and eliminate it. The territories are now complete, and the game is over. But before we count the result, I want to show you something. In the previous lesson, I showed you how stones can live if they have 2 eyes. Now I want to show you how this can be put to practical use in an actual game. So let's say that white takes a look at this position and estimates visually that white doesn't have enough points. Black has more territory. So white doesn't want to finish the game just yet. White decides to invade inside black's territory. Can white do that? Well, why not? Both black and white can play on any unoccupied intersection. So white decides to play here. What is white trying to do here? Since there's no escape out of this black territory, the only hope for white is to make a group with 2 eyes, like we saw in the previous lesson. This is a white group with 2 eyes. White is now alive inside black's territory. And so all of black's territory is basically gone. But wait a second, white just played 8 moves in a row and black didn't really respond to any of them. This is of course an oversimplification, but white needs to make a lot of moves inside black's territory if white wants to live there. So what does black need to do? Well, not to ignore white like this. Not to allow white to make 8 moves in a row. So when white makes the first move like this, all black needs to do is just to answer and minimize the space that's available to white. For example, guard the corner like this. Now white can only think of making 2 eyes here, and this space is a lot smaller than before. For example, white tries to move, and black just blocks. And it's getting obvious that this space is not nearly big enough for white to make 2 eyes there. And without 2 eyes, those white stones can't live inside, so black doesn't even have to capture them. The stones are already prisoners. And as soon as white stops playing inside there, black can stop playing there too. Because every stone you play inside your own territory will only make it smaller. At this point, white decided not to continue this invasion, and since there are no more moves left to be played, white passes. Black passes too, and the game is over. Now we need to count the score. Let's learn how to do that. First, we need to take all the prisoners off the board. There are 2 white stones that are prisoners here, and since both players agree that they can't live there, they're simply taken off the board now. Now, each captured stone should give you 1 point at the end of the game, remember? So these 2 white stones should give black 2 points now. But there's a handy trick here. Instead of adding them to black, we're going to subtract them from white. So we can put these white stones inside white's territory. And now white gets 2 points less. In the same way, we're going to put the black stone inside this black territory, making it 1 point smaller. Returning the captured stones back on the board is the second thing you need to do when counting the score. Now, the shapes of black and white territories are quite irregular. They're not easy to count. We'll have to count them one by one like this, but we can make it more convenient. Now that the borders are set, we can move the stones around without changing the size of territories. So for example, we can move these stones here, like this, and like this. And here, we move the stone here. That's much better. And now, number 3, let's count the territory. Black has 6 times 4, 24 plus 6. That's 30. And white has 8 times 2, 16 plus 4, 20 points. So black just wins the game by 10 points? Doesn't it feel like too much? Yes, it does. But remember that black always plays first. It means that black has the advantage in every game. So a special compensation was introduced to even out the chances of both players. This compensation is called komi, and it's equal to 6.5 points that is given to white at the end of the game. And by the way, this half a point is there to ensure that there are no draws and go. So in this game, white has 20 points on the board, plus 6.5 points, and the total is 26.5 points. Black has 30, so black only wins the game by 3.5 points. And that's it. Congratulations. You know pretty much all the rules of Go, but let's quickly recap. 1. Black and white take turns to place stones on empty intersections of the board. Black plays first, stones never move after this, and the purpose of the game is to get more territory than your opponent. 2. Stones can be captured if all of their liberties are filled by the opponent. And 3. Forbidden moves. You can't play a stone so that all of its liberties are immediately gone. Suicide is not allowed, and you can't make a move that repeats an earlier position in the game. We haven't covered this final rule in these lessons yet, but we'll get to it soon enough. You can already start playing games even without it. In the second section of the course, I'll show you some common tricks and techniques that might come in handy during the game.